the National Elite Cyclocross Champion for 2025, the one, the only, Sam Crease.
National Champs last year was one of those races where I went into it knowing I could win but not expecting to win. I was on the front row along with some really strong riders, and it was a case of quite early in the race, a lot of the race favourites kind of slid out because of the conditions, because in the morning it was frozen and then it started to thaw out a little bit and it became really slippy and muddy, and the course we practiced on was different to the one we raced on. And then I just managed to get out up front, and it was like, right, okay, you're leading national champs. Bear in mind, I'd never been on the podium in national champs before. So then from that, it was kind of like, right, okay, I'm going to podium this race. And it was just trying to stay calm because the conditions were so tricky. If you could keep upright, you could do really well. I was like in the lead, it was like, right, I'm going to win this. And then took a tumble on the last lap. And it was one of these sections where you could kind of see about 10 seconds back. So Cat Ferguson saw that I'd also crashed, and then it became kind of this sprint to the line, but with a speed limit because the course was so slippy, there was only so fast you could go. And I was just there going, oh, until then, as long as I didn't crash, I'd won, and suddenly I'd crashed and it brought it right down to the line. And then it was just insane crossing the line, kind of going, right, you have just won national champions. I've always been very competitive as a child, so I kind of take a lot of things quite seriously. And I think at the time, I would have dreamt of kind of going on to race like the big races, be it the World Cups, win national champs, but it felt more like a dream at that point than a goal. So it's quite crazy now that this is the reality, like I am currently the British national champ. So this year I've pretty much done a little bit of a similar calendar in terms of races compared to last year. So that's pretty much stayed the same. But what's been different is how I've been able to travel. So before, I'd very much have to book each race and each weekend a few days before. Whereas this year I've had that kind of freedom to actually, I can book this way in advance because I have the funding. I know that I can do it, because last year I got myself into the top 50 of the world rankings. Last year, every single weekend we were coming out to go back on the Sunday or the Monday. This year we've been able to stay out in Belgium for a month, which has been so nice because travelling just builds up so much fatigue. And whilst, yes, I just cracked on with it, it was like I needed to work, I needed to race. This year I could actually just stay still and stay calm, and it's been so much nicer. I feel like I've been able to keep my training much more constant in these kind of months, and it's just been so much more enjoyable. I think for everyone that's supported me, it's been nicer because we can just stay here. We have a little base in Belgium. We've got into more of a routine rather than being every single minute of my life is scheduled, because if I don't do what I'm meant to do, I'm not going to be able to fit everything in. Cyclocross in Belgium is just on a complete different level to everywhere else. There is nothing like racing in Belgium. You can tell the atmosphere, the fans here absolutely adore cyclocross. I think because I've been racing in Europe a few years now, I have so many people screaming my name as I'm racing, and that just helps so much because it just gives you that little extra edge, and it's so nice to actually hear people shout your name on the side of the course. It's everything that comes with cyclocross here. You do have quite the drunken, rowdy crowds, but you have the cheers, the start line, that atmosphere. You don't quite get the same everywhere else, and I think it's great that cross is growing in the UK and in Europe and the US, but Belgium, you can tell, is the homeland of cross, and it's just my favourite place to race. It's kind of crazy that it's been 12 months now since I won that national champs jersey, so it's such a weird thing. I don't think it's really going to sink in that this weekend is going to be my last race in the jersey this year until I get there, or even maybe I cross the line. Yeah, it's such a crazy feeling. I've absolutely loved wearing that jersey, and I think thinking, oh, this is going to be the end, makes me want to fight for it even more. I'd love to be able to keep racing it, but I'm kind of in that I'm always excited for one race. I'm not going to be the national champ. It's quite nice. I'm going to be just Zan again, and that's almost quite exciting too. It's definitely been a learning experience this year from several things. It's been so nice to make sure that all the brands I'm working with are brands that I'm super passionate about and believe in, because sometimes when you're on a team setup, there might be a sponsor where you're like, okay, that's a good product, but I would rather be using something else. Whereas now I'm in a position to make sure the setup I have is the setup I want, which is so cool. But obviously then comes with, you've got to negotiate that. You've got to prove to them that you're worth whatever they're offering you or giving you. And in the background, there is a little bit of pressure about that, because suddenly all the social media responsibilities are on your shoulders. I can't just go, oh, the team have taken photos of that, oh, the team will share posts about that. It's actually everything that the team do has to pretty much come from me right now, which is a little bit daunting, but it's something the more you do, the more you get used to it. And I'm very grateful that the brands I work with do make my life really easy and have been really great to work with. I think Privateers currently is offering this new avenue for athletes who are really strong and really good and deserve that chance, but maybe aren't quite making the World Tour teams, a step to go into racing full time. And I think that's great. But personally for me, I've always wanted to keep this a proper cyclocross setup. I really want to in the next few years have a UCI cyclocross team that's supporting British riders, because at the moment that's an opportunity that's currently missing. We don't have an elite level professional cyclocross team as much as we have some incredible development teams, and I think that's missing. I'd really love to step this up and take it there and have some other riders on with me that are racing at the same level. We're trying to be quite sensible at how we progress the team, so I'd really like to look on to take on one more rider, maybe next year, maybe in 2 years' time, to kind of step it up to have that 2-rider team. And I think it's just growing that support. We've done really well this year, and we want to kind of get to a point where we have just that little bit more support for that bit more comfort in terms of financing the season, and just being able to maybe do more trips, more training camps, and have that second rider that can be equally as well supported. I think other than that, just grow the team, the following, have more adventures and just see where we can go. Yeah, this season's really proved what we can achieve, and I think next year is just about seeing how much further we can take it and what we can achieve with a little bit more time.